Alright, let's talk about the most dangerous man in Silo. Not Juliette, not Sims, not even the algorithm. Bernard Holland. Most people watch this show and walk away thinking Bernard is just another power-hungry control freak. The guy in the suit who lies, kills, and smiles while he does it. And yeah, on the surface that tracks. But if you actually sit with what this character is doing across 3 seasons, something a lot more fucked up starts to show up. Bernard doesn't think he's the villain. He thinks he's the only adult in a building full of children who will get everyone killed if they ever find out the truth. That's not regular evil. That's the kind of evil that sleeps fine at night. Let's break this motherfucker down properly. First, look at how the Silo sees him. For most of Season 1, Bernard is just the head of IT, quiet, controlled, the guy who knows where every camera is and every file is stored. When Sheriff Holston decides to walk out and die, Bernard is already moving pieces. He tries to block Juliette from becoming sheriff. He wants Billings, someone predictable, someone who won't dig. When Mayor Johns gets poisoned and dies, Bernard steps up like it's just another Tuesday. He gives Juliette the badge. He smiles. He talks about a fresh start. Meanwhile, he's already planning how to contain her. This is classic Bernard. Public face, calm administrator. Private reality, the actual power in the silo. Judicial answers to him. The mirrors are cameras. The heat tape is deliberately shit, so cleaners die fast. Everything is designed so that hope never survives long enough to become a problem. And here's the part most people miss. Bernard isn't doing this because he enjoys power for its own sake. He's doing it because he knows something the rest of them don't. He knows about the safeguard. He knows that if the silo ever truly rebels, if people ever get organized and start asking the wrong questions, Silo 1 doesn't negotiate. It just flips a switch and floods the place with poison gas. 10,000 people dead in minutes. No trial, no warning, just gone. So every time Bernard orders a hit, or frames someone, or sends someone outside to die, he's running the same cold calculation. If I let this person live and talk, the safeguard might activate. If I kill them now, 9,999 people get to keep breathing. That's not cartoon villain logic. That's wartime triage mixed with absolute knowledge. He's not protecting his ego. He's protecting the only thing he believes still matters, the continuation of the silo. Now let's talk about how this psychology actually works in practice. Look at Allison Becker. She finds the hard drive. She sees the green world on the video. She cuts the birth control implant out of her own stomach and tells everyone the outside is safe. Bernard doesn't just shut her down. He makes sure the system responds exactly the way it's designed to. She walks outside. The HUD lies to her. She dies believing she was right. Bernard doesn't lose sleep over that. Because from his point of view, Allison wasn't a truth teller. She was a walking extinction event. Same with George Wilkins. Same with the way he handles Juliette when she starts getting too close. Every single time someone gets close to the real picture, Bernard's response is the same. Contain, discredit, or eliminate. Not because he's sadistic, because he has already decided that the truth is more dangerous than any lie he can invent. This is radical utilitarianism with no off switch. The greatest good for the greatest number, even if the good is built on corpses, and the number never gets to know why they're still alive. Season 2 is where the cracks start showing. Juliette survives the outside. She walks over the hill. The cafeteria screen shows it. And suddenly the entire belief system Bernard has spent decades maintaining starts collapsing in real time. People see someone live. Hope gets in. Mechanical starts pushing back. Bernard responds the only way he knows how. Harder control. He frames the mechanical leaders. He tries to keep the lid on. He even pulls Lucas out of the mines, because he needs someone who can decode the hard drive, and maybe give him an edge. But the damage is done. By the end of Season 2, he's in the airlock with Juliette, fire coming, and for the first time you see something close to fear. Not fear of dying, fear that everything he did was about to become pointless. He names Sims as his shadow right before the flames take him. Even while he's burning, he's still trying to pass the system on. Most people thought that was the end of Bernard. It wasn't. Season 3 hits different. They announce he's dead. Sims and the others use his name as a scapegoat. Blame Bernard. Clean slate. New era. Classic political move. Except Bernard isn't dead. Sims didn't kill him. He bagged him up, faked the body disposal, and hid him in the digger void, with Martha looking after him. Burned, broken, half dead, but still talking. And when Juliette finds him down there, Bernard does something interesting. He doesn't beg. He doesn't try to take power back. He starts giving information. He explains the order. He explains why relics can break the memory drugs. He explains the 50 silos. He explains the safeguard in more detail than anyone has heard before. Even broken, even after everything, Bernard is still trying to save the silo the only way he knows how, by controlling who knows what and when. That's the terrifying part. Most villains, when they lose, either break completely or double down into pure chaos. Bernard doesn't. He adapts. He accepts the new reality and keeps playing the same long game from a weaker position. He's not addicted to the chair. He's addicted to the responsibility of knowing the truth when no one else can be trusted with it. So what is Bernard Holland psychologically? He's not a pure psychopath. He clearly feels the weight of what he does. You see it in the quiet moments, in the way he talks about the burden. He's not a classic narcissist either. He doesn't need the crowd cheering. He actually prefers to stay in the background. What he is something rarer and more dangerous. He's a man who has decided that he will be the villain in every story told about him, as long as the story ends with the silos still standing. That's a specific kind of moral injury. He has decided that his own humanity is an acceptable sacrifice. He has no real friends, no real confidants. The one person he almost trusted enough to make his shadow, Meadows, walked away from it years ago because she couldn't carry it. He waited 25 years before even considering another one. That's not strength. That's isolation so deep, it became identity. When he tells Sims in Season 3 that he would have been a good shadow, but he's glad he never fully pulled him into it, that's Bernard admitting, in his own muted way, that the job destroys people. And he still did it anyway, because someone had to. Here's the part that should actually scare you. Bernard might be right. Not about the methods. The methods are monstrous. But about the core problem. The safeguard is real. Silo 1 is watching. The second a silo loses control in a way that threatens the larger system, the gas comes. So every time Juliette or Mechanical or anyone else pushes for truth and freedom, they are also pushing the entire population closer to extinction. Bernard saw that equation years ago and decided the only logical move was to become the monster who keeps the lid on. That's why he's more dangerous than a regular villain. A regular villain wants power, or revenge, or chaos. Bernard wants the silo to still exist in 50 years, and he is willing to become whatever that requires. Even if it means being hated. Even if it means being burned. Even if it means dying in a hole while the people he saved never know his name. So when you look at Bernard Holland, don't just see the guy who ordered the hits and sabotaged the suits. See the man who looked at the full picture, the 50 silos, the algorithm, the gas, the lies, and decided that the only way to keep 10,000 people alive was to make sure they never understood the world they were living in. He didn't fail because he was weak. He failed because the truth got out anyway. And the scariest question the show leaves you with isn't, was Bernard evil? It's this. If you knew what he knew, if you were the only one who understood that one wrong move could kill everyone, would you have done it differently? Or would you have become Bernard too? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to see how many of you are honest enough to say the quiet part out loud. I will see you in the next one.